Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient. Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Voice Matters with Jen Chambers. Sorry, I clear my throat there. Today, we're beginning something truly transformative, a 12-week series where I'll guide you through the creative recovery process that's inspired by Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way. This week is all about recovering a sense of safety in your creative life. And that means learning to protect your creativity from past wounds, from self-doubt, and from those stories that told you weren't good enough. Let's begin. Segment 1. Understanding the Inner Saboteur. This theme is our shadow artists and the enemy within. Many of us have been discouraged or dismissed or told that our art or our writing or our music or things that were fun weren't practical. Over our lifetimes, we have internalized those voices. Julia Cameron talks about something called shadow artists. Shadow artists are people with creative urges who hide them. They're people who often work near creative fields but don't claim space in them. Let's talk about and unpack these internal blocks with gentleness. So first, we're going to do a mini exercise. You can use pencil and paper, you can use a laptop, whatever works for you. It's called the core belief excavation. I want you to write down and complete this sentence 5 times. I used to believe I couldn't be creative because... So write that 5 times. I used to believe I couldn't be creative because... And then I want you to write... You don't have to do this one 5 times, but you can. The person who made me feel this way was... Usually that'll come to you pretty instantly. For me, it was my grandma. I had one really, really nice grandma, and I had one... It wasn't her fault, but she was mean. She was, that expression, hurt people, that was my grandma. She always made me feel small and less than. And a lot of it was due to her own hang-ups and her own self-hatred. So I want you to talk about the person who made you feel that you couldn't be creative or that you weren't okay. And then I want you to write down what I wish that person had said instead was... Now, you can put these on paper. I really do recommend it. Or you can even say it out loud. This is basically a release ritual. Writing this down kind of excises it from your brain. So you can burn the page or you can tear it up if that feels good. Or crumple it up in a ball and shove it in the grossest part of your trash can. Whatever. So that's a really, really telling kind of exercise that you can do. And it helps you really peel the layers back on the things that hurt you and why. It's a very interesting exercise in that way, because it's really easy to focus on why we're hurt or what hurts us, but not necessarily why. Segment 2. Creative affirmations and affirmative weapons. The theme of this section is learning to rewrite your narrative. All right, let's flip the script now. Julia Cameron calls these things affirmative weapons, new truths that protect your inner artist. I always think of it as like a, I think of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm sure if you haven't seen the show, you know what they are. And I think of them with, very colorful shells. So when I think about my affirmative weapons or my affirmations, It's like I'm painting on my own shell. Maybe you're not, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, but it's still fun. So you can write these down, or you can repeat them, or do both. The first one is creativity is the natural order of life. It is safe for me to be creative. My creativity heals me and others. It is okay to make bad art. I make art because it matters, not because it's perfect. And the last one is, I'm allowed to express myself. I'm allowed to take up space. Now we have another exercise, and this one I do want you to write down. It's making your own creative shield or your own creative armor. And again, when Julia Cameron talks about art, it isn't necessarily, pen and paper or paint on a canvas kind of art. It's whatever creative activity fuels you. So I want you to think of, whenever I say art, what I'm saying is your personal art. Mine is writing. It could be anything. So for your creative shield, I want you to write 3 affirmations of your own. So looking at the ones that we wrote down before, the first one says, creativity is the natural order of life. It is safe for me to be creative. For me, I just shortened that. It is safe for me to be creative. That works for me. It is safe for me to be creative. And so you write 2 more of your own, or 3 of your own. Not, you don't need to use mine. But once you have those 3, I would like you to post them somewhere you see every day. So I put those on a Post-it, and I put them on the bathroom mirror, or you could use it on your phone lock screen, or put it on your fridge or your microwave, wherever it is somewhere that you'll see it. And then I want you to say them out loud once a day. This is another reason why the bathroom's good, because, you take a shower and you can say your affirmation and nobody's the wiser. And it's just between you and yourself. But by doing these every day, you really do start to create your own shield that makes you feel like you have autonomy over your art and affirmative weapons against anybody who would silence your inner artist. Segment 3. We have some tasks in Julia Cameron's book for each week, and these are all gentle prompts to help connect to your creative self. One of the things, and I've talked about it on the show before, that was so helpful for me the first time I went through The Artist's Way, is something that Julia calls her morning pages. So doing this, you write 3 pages by hand of stream of consciousness writing every single morning. There's no rules. There's no punctuation. There's no, you can use punctuation if you want to, but don't stop for that. Just flow. Just write. It clears the clutter in your brain. And she says something that I've always took to heart. If you can't think of anything to write, you can write that. I can't think of anything to write. This is stupid. I hate this. You can write that for 3 pages. You'll only do that for so many days or so many times before something comes through. Your consciousness peeks out in spite of yourself. And it really does help get to the stuff that's buried deep inside, the stuff that you really want to talk about. And I like to do this. Some people like fancy journals. I've never been one of those kinds of people. It's funny. I have a lot of fancy journals because people think I'm a writer, so I want them. And they're great. They're beautiful, but I have a really hard time using them. I don't know if I feel like my practice work is too good for it, or it's too good for my practice work, I should say. I don't know. Maybe other people feel like that too. But what I love to use is I just go get, at the beginning of each school year, I get myself 10 spiral college lined notebooks. And for me, that works great. Because when there's less, less at stake, I feel more free to do it. I don't know, try what works for you. But I really suggest this practice, the morning pages, is really the foundation, one of the foundations of what Julia Cameron talks about in order to help really reach your higher creative self. So even if just for these 12 weeks, if you would commit to yourself to doing your morning pages, I'm so excited to see what you'll come out with, what it'll come out for you. Her second thing that she recommends that you do that's really fun, actually, and I talk about this in my writing show as well, is talking about your timeline. But in hers, she talks about a creativity timeline. So just on a regular piece of paper, draw a line from your early years all the way up to now. Mark the creative highs and the creative wounds. What stories come out of that? So, were you the editor of your newspaper in high school? Was that a creative high? Was it a wound when somebody hated what you had to say in the editorial? Was it a creative high when you were in kindergarten and you finger painted with abandon and didn't care what anyone said? And then when you got to be in third grade, you were really sad because somebody told you that your art was terrible? So, what are your creative highs and creative wounds? To be clear, I don't have memories before 15 because of my brain injury, so those aren't my particular memories, but I can see where that would be possible for sure. So those will all probably spark something in you. I've talked to people who have done this. I've taught this many times. And a lot of people have done different art pieces based on the creative highs and lows or written stories about it. One person even wrote songs about it. You know, what creativity comes from you? By honoring and remembering those creative highs and creative wounds in your life. It's a very healing practice. So I hope that you do it. Your creativity timeline. The third cornerstone that I guess 3 would be a tripod, but regardless, the third really important thing that Julia Cameron talks about is a very non-negotiable artist date. Every week, 1 hour, just you. Go to a place or do an activity that feels whimsical or fun or playful or joyful, anything you want. No productivity allowed. Some examples of this are like a treasure hunt at a thrift store, or using sidewalk chalk, or going on a walk to collect leaves, or go to a used bookstore. Something that is fun just for you. For me, I've been so proud of myself because I'm trading with a friend of mine and she's giving me lessons on my ukulele. So I haven't done that for a long time, but it's really filling my cup to be able to do 1 hour a week of just music, just for me. It's been fantastic. So I hope that you do an artist date just for you, something that feels playful or joyful or fun, just for you. You can do anything you want, color, anything. Also, here's another gentle prompt for this week, is to list 10 small creative risks that you would like to take in the next 3 months. What do you want to do? Do you want to submit your work to a magazine? Do you want to play an instrument yourself? What do you want to do? What's a small creative risk that you could take? Even if it's just posting one of your pictures or one of your thoughts on Instagram, something that's a creative risk, something you could do. Something concrete. You don't have to do them all, but just list them and think about it. Now, she has you do a check-in journal at the end of each week as well. And she has you talk about how were your morning pages? How did it go? Did anything exciting come out of it? Did anything emerge? Did you do your artist date? And what came up from there? Did anything surprise you, or did you have any resistance or wins? So I encourage you to start these things this week. And I want to end today with a grounding practice for our last segment, segment 4. Now you can be seated or standing for this. I would like you to do some gentle neck rolls, keeping your mouth slightly open as you go to the back. Do some shoulder shrugs to the front, to the front, to the back, to the back. And then do big arm sweeps with both hands, up and down, and up and down. Now do a forward fold. Seated or standing, let your head hang. Fold your trunk over your thighs and let your head hang down. Now come up for that, but not too fast. And seated, I want you to do a twist. One hand can be behind you or on the arm of your chair, and one across your knee. Bend down and breathe into your lower back. Now, get your body upright and switch sides. One hand behind you or on your chair arm, and one across the other knee. Breathe into the low back as you twist. Now stay right where you are. Close your eyes. Imagine a warm light at the crown of your head. This is your creative spark. What color is your creative spark? Is it rainbow? Does it look like a firework? Let it flow through your body, down to your heart. Whatever color you chose, let those colors flow down from your heart to your arms, to your fingers. Wiggle your fingers. From your heart to your belly, to your seat, through your upper thighs, through your knees, through your calves, through your ankles, your feet, and then your toes. Wiggle those toes. Let that creative spark whisper to you, you are safe, you are allowed, you are needed. Breathe in, safety. Breathe out, fear. Again, breathe in, safety. Breathe out, fear. Return to the room when you're ready, and open your eyes gently. To close today, I want you to remember that your creativity is your birthright. Your story matters. Your voice matters. And recovering a sense of safety is how we begin. This week, protect your creativity like a tender shoot. Water it. Light it up. Let it grow. I'll see you next week for week 2, recovering a sense of identity. As far as resources for this week, I recommend that you buy The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. You don't need to because we'll go through the exercises here each week, but it's a wonderful book and it's worth having. You can also go to juliacameronlive.com. You could read the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert for permission to create without apology. You could read another really great book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. He talks about nurturing the artist within. It's a big book, but really, really good. And then you could always go to Insight Timer or YouTube for some free creative meditations and mindfulness tools. Thank you so much for joining me today on Your Voice Matters with Jen Chambers. See you next week.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Sometimes we have to start over. Sometimes we have to fight back. Sometimes it's all too much. Lost inside the black. Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient. Our stories are brilliant. We are resilient. Sometimes we need to lift the voices of those who've overcome and expose the ones that made the choices